Greetings, everyone. I just returned from Ganesh Puri, an excellent trip, wonderful trip. I would always suggest, if you have the time, if you have the patience to be there in Ganesh Puri, so it's coming as Garunachala. If you can be there in Ganesh Puri, spend some good time there. I wouldn't say do this or do that sadhana and this and all that. Just sit there in awareness of the consciousness of that Mahapurusha called Bhagavan Nityananda. A lot will happen. Assured. If you would like to learn all these ways of silent communications without the doing, just to settle down in the being, that happens only when you are ready. It's not very easy. It happens when you are ready. But till we get ready, we can do a lot of other practices, whatever cleans our chitta and makes it nirmal and nischala. Because the nischala tattva, the stillness can only come when the mind is free of vrittis. Vrittis come from impurities. Impurities from half-baked knowledge. Impurities coming from the egoistic tendencies of knowing it all or knowing whatever. And the conditions, the belief system, the conditions that you have collected for eons, from lifetimes. And this is not pravachan that I am giving you. These all have been experimented by me. This is what I have investigated. I have not wasted all these decades. Put good efforts into everything and seen everything. I have crystal clear clarity over everything. So whatever I speak here, many people get hurt. Yeah, that's another thing. We had the blah blahs going on. You can see it here in the Jake Light profile. So that all comes with this half-baked information and our tendency to hold on to some belief systems. Our mind is capable of holding all kind of nonsense and crap. See, that is all good for time pass spirituality. When we get awakening and then we enter into some path, some curiosity, and you're trying to learn, you're going here, you're going there. Everything you're doing this, doing that, and then you're scared and you're, half-heartedly you're doing. Sometimes there is devotion, sometimes there is no devotion, then there is doubt, then there is fear. All those things jumbled up, and you're doing so many things. And eventually, that's all a very natural process. But eventually, it will start simmering down. As your chitta gets settled, it all starts simmering down. And when it simmers down, you start getting clarity over life. That is the Jnana Marga. Till then, you are into the other aspects of life. That is all good. But when the transition happens to the Jnana Marga, that's very challenging. Because now that nonsense that you have held up, and new kind of belief system, earlier you had some patterns and beliefs and conditions. Now when you get into spirituality, it starts purifying that. But then you imbibe these new spiritual teachings and spiritual new conditions, regulations, and this and that, and then we start parroting that, what we know. Like, don't judge. What does this don't judge means? If it can create freedom if told to a seeker, and it can create hell and bondage if told to a slave. This is where the subtle discrimination is. We cannot go on parroting all these teachings, this and that. We have to grow up. After a certain time, there is a level of maturity that comes in, whereas you are not just taking the teachings as teachings. Half-baked knowledge, that is what I call. In the start, it's all good. That is all needed to discipline you, yam niyam. Because once the discipline comes in life, then only. So you got to have these rules. But after a certain times, you will notice surely that these rules and regulation becomes your bondage. It becomes your slavery. And then, if you do not get over it, you can be taken advantage of. See, a person can take advantage of a slave by telling you don't judge. It's wrong to judge. So obviously when that person is looking up also and trying to see something, that person will say don't judge. So that person will be scared and it might cause me some papa. So we are still in that papa punya stuff. This is all the dharmic place that goes on. Religion is based on papa punya, merits and demerits, and all your running is towards whatever you are doing is based on papa punya. Greed and fear, reward and punishment. Now I don't know how many are understanding this, but please do understand, whatever I post here, it is not for convincing people. Okay, let us get this Jake Light profile and shifting into awareness profile pages very clear. I am not here to convince anybody. Do whatever you like, whichever path you follow, do whatever. I am not here to convince anybody. I am just talking to a limited set of people, and those are the people who are transitioning in the transitioning mode. They are moving towards that final emancipation, and there it will be very challenging. So whom do I call ready are the people who understand what we are talking here about, and they understand their bondages and they are ready to get free. And for that you need a lot of guts and courage. So if that is not there, if your old patterns and all your old belief systems are haunting you, and you want to be parroting your old teachings and the things that you have learned from here and there, half-heartedly, half-baked knowledge, without realization of it, that's another thing. Okay, one is you read Shastras, no experience. You read from many masters, many things, no experience. It's you parrot only on belief systems. You have never experimented it. The other is the teachings and preachings and sharings and whatever comes from experience. I talk only from experience. What there is conviction, I talk from there. So which there is no conviction or not, I will say this Shastra says or this person said, this Guru said or that Master said, or I will say because I don't know. But when I am talking from my own being, then I have experienced that. Okay. So like for example, people ask me, oh, you are talking against what you did once, the sadhanas and all, whatever. Now, how many of anyone knows whether I did it or not? First of all. So when people say I am judging people, they are already judging me here. So my judgments are coming very critically to blast that ego stuff which is there in the ego, which has been built up through this generated belief systems and conditioning. My intention is different, to break that hardcore cemented system that is holding you behind. And whom can I talk to? The people who are ready to go ahead and who know that something is ahead. So I am talking to a very, very limited crowd. Okay, I am not here to gather followers. I have made it very, very clear. I don't care if anybody follows or if anybody unfollows, unfriends, blocks and all those things. That's your take. Whatever you don't want to do with your life, you do. Whatever I want, I am doing with my life. My purpose is this. Whatever I have experienced, I have 2-3 pages, 2-3 places. I will share what I want from my views. Now, people who can relate to it and can find it beneficial, I know many of you have found it beneficial. I get all the and see your progress. Okay, after doing these things, what we are talking about, see your progress and look at the progress of others. You will come to know how differences are there, whether changes are there or not, and then you can go ahead with it. So there is no marketing here that is done. I will never publicize anything here, nor I will ask you share my post, like my post, put it in all groups and share it for the well-being of all mankind. We are trying to help and all that nonsense. We can't help anybody. We can't save this world. I've made it very clear in multiple posts. So that is a different zone anyways, what I'm talking. Not everybody will understand it. So I'm talking again only to the people who understand. And the people who understand it is the only people I am interested in sharing this with. So kindly do not take this as, I'm putting it for the public and taunting, or I'm sarcastic, or I'm putting somebody down, I have none of any business to put anybody up and down. I am talking about my struggles. I am talking about whatever I have been through, good, bad, ugly. My life lessons, precious lessons in which I have lost years to learn. So if somebody wants to learn from that, they can learn, or you can lose your years. And whatever you say, you don't agree with and all that, no problem. You carry on with what you agree. There is no force here, day ones. I'm telling you again and again, there is no force. You need not come and do these things and nothing. I told you, I'm just talking to those who are. I believe if we talk more on that, it's of no use. It will be just ego wars. That I try to prove my point, you try to prove. Nobody is here to prove anybody's point. Okay. And I would be proving my point if I'm putting it on some pages or somebody else's. I'm going in some groups and putting some messages there, answering them, replying them, and blah, 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 arguments, debates. Not doing it. I'm just posting things here. So I wouldn't appreciate anybody to come and argue and debate here. If you want to do it on your pages. If you don't agree, go and do it. Whatever you feel, you can voice it anywhere. But not here. Because this is not a place where I'm opening debates and conversation. Not a place. And I don't mind just keeping blocking. I have done that before also. But today I wanted to answer. Okay. Because every time just blocking, deleting. Okay. Sometimes you got to be very stern. And I wanted to convey my message. What is it? So I have been very straight and stern there. So somebody found that as a rajas quality. And they said, how can a spiritual teacher have rajas quality? First of all, I am not your spiritual teacher. I never claimed to be a teacher, never a master. Chola nahi badlunga. All that nonsense, I will not get into all those things. I am not here for that. I am not here to build disciples. I am not giving anybody diksha. Nor I am expecting anything from you. Nor I expect to give you something. So there is no give and take here. That business is not there here. I want to make it very clear. So I am not a teacher. I am not looking for students. And I don't want anybody to come here as students, fall at feet and worship me. And don't worship this thing. This is incomplete. I'm not saying I'm incomplete. I'm saying this is incomplete. What you can see and only what you can ascertain, good for you. That what you can see and understand, don't worship it. I would say don't worship anybody. That's what I'm telling. And Rajas, when you say Rajas, yes, there is Rajas, Tamas, Samat, Sattvic. Who told? Am I claiming anywhere here that I'm a perfect being? I'm a guru. I'm an ascended master. I have reached to such level. I don't claim anything. I am just telling I'm an ordinary person here. So if I blast, I'll blast. If I'm angry, I'm angry. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I want to cry, I'll cry. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. This is the way I live. This is my freedom. So don't try to club me into all your positions of teacher and this and that. That is your problem if you have considered that. I never claimed it anywhere. So I don't encourage you to do that also. And regarding your studentship, first of all, we don't know how to be a student, even if you are claiming to be a student. To be a student, there is a certain attitude. Okay, there is a certain humility that has to come first. If you go on teaching around everybody, including your so-called teachers, if you think I'm a teacher and if you are very interested in teaching me, then you are in some other game altogether. Because you are not a student, you are a teacher. Then go ahead and teach. There's no problem. Do that. Because you will not find it in here. So don't attempt here all those things. You go and teach your other teachers. And I can see many people who are running around for pure teachers. Because they say, Rajasic quality teacher. So go and find Sattvic quality teachers. And go and find teachers who have risen beyond all the three gunas. You will not find any. I have told this many times before. The perfect master is the one who teaches in silence. Because silence means all the gunas have gone, three gunas. Speaking even one word is a guna. So you can call that rajas, no problem. Even if it is highly divine and sattvic, it's still a guna. And if you want to find a nirguna teacher, one who has ascended all the gunas, worthiness is not there. Sorry. Because who has gunas, from there only you can't learn. What are you going to ascend into nirgunas? So this is all our assumptions and fantasy land. That is why people are hunting for avadutas, but they can't sit for a moment in their vicinity, in silence. They want to beg, borrow, they want to touch their feet, they want to snatch away anything that they get from them, powers or grace and so-called things. We are still in that stupidity. So we don't deserve to be even in nirguna. So try hunting. First, you have to learn with guna people only. Because all the teachings and preachings will come through guna. And the trainings, all that will come. Your bashing and thrashing, all that will come through gunas only. If you are ready for that only, you can go ahead. But if you are searching for somebody, you will sit and boost your ego and comfort. Keep searching. All the best. Anyways, I am not here to teach or preach or anything. Very simple these pages are. Very, very simple. There are some certain revelations that I found in my journey. I've been through all kind of stuff. I've seen all the nonsense. And where you are sitting on the other side, being a believer and telling you are doing this, you are doing that, come on this side. Or go and have a first-hand direct experience and then speak. When you sit in your home and you have not even explored the spiritual arena yet, other than studying teachings on the internet or watching some videos and preachings of somebody, if you have not got first-hand experience being in that, try doing it. Then you will understand the conclusions. Your conclusions will be different. You speak from parroting. You speak from inexperience. You speak from hallucinations, fantasies, and imaginations, because it's a very glorified field. Spirituality is very, very glorified. घर में बैठ के कोई भी तुक्का मार सकता है. You can sit and imagine a lot of things just based on teachings. Go out there, spend time with saints, sit with the gurus, spend your life, major chunk of your life with them, sit with avdutas, take all the thrashings, look through everything, study through everything, examine the teachings, apply the teachings, and then conclude. So don't bring all those bits and pieces of information and sit to argue here. I'm not interested. Anyways, I don't want to waste my time in all these things. I'm putting this video here. I will simply keep blocking and removing people who are not in alignment with what we are trying to talk here. We are talking the Arunachala Tattva, and we are talking about Nirlambha Yoga, that is throwing away all the things that you have gathered till now, including all the knowledge, all the techniques, all the methods, all your so-called attachments and things that you think you have gathered. It's about that. Nirlambha Yoga is all about that. This path is all about that. Gyan Marga is about that, because it's the final annihilation of emptying yourself. And these are the subjects we are going to talk. So if anybody is coming and trying to say, no, I don't want to empty, this is precious to me, how dare you come and poke something out of me which I am holding in my prized possession, these are not the pages to come and debate. You go ahead, there are many places where all your votes are needed, and they will keep you happy, they will keep you contented, and they will keep you flattered, and promises and all those things, and probably somebody will grant you liberation also. If you feel so, or somebody has promised, go ahead and experiment. It will take some time. Now I remember, now I can relate very clearly to why Bhagavan Ramana said, silence is important. Argument doesn't take anywhere, because it's no use. It's foolishness. See, one person came to Bhagavan Ramana and said, Bhagavan, I've been suffering all my life, went here and there, multiple places, but not getting the solution. Is there anything that I can get through, or any of your advice? Bhagavan told him about investigating about the one who is suffering, which is the ego self. And he said, ponder on that. He said, this is the direct marga. You go through that and you will get relief. But this person was not content. Now he says, oh, but my guru has told a certain way for me, and what about that? Ramana became silent. Then he said, okay, I've been to 2-3 other places. That master said this way and this book said this way. And these paths seem to be different with what you are saying. What you are saying looks to be easy, but then, blah, 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 conversation went. Ramana is silent. For half an hour, he tried his best to take out at least one word from Ramana. But Ramana is not that tattva. He is a no-nonsense person. So, he is a no-nonsense, not with arguing and debates. His silence is his debate. I am learning. And he was silent. After half an hour, when he found that Ramana wouldn't budge a little here and there also, he did Sashtang Pranam and he went off because he had respect for that person. So the devotee said, what happened? He is such a sincere person, so loyal, and so beautifully he asked certain things. How come it was not answered to him? He looked so genuine. And Ramana said, how much ever I speak, he will not understand. He will debate and he will argue with his point of understanding because that's his state of consciousness. So whatever he is relating with in a certain state of consciousness, he is talking with, which is justified. He is talking from that end, and that is not absolutely what I am trying to tell him. So he won't get the message. So he says there he knows certain things. So Ramana said, let him go and experiment and learn. Finally, when the time is ripened, he has to come to the Jnana Marga because there is no other way out for redemption. So, till then let him experiment and learn from his own that this is not the way. After that, when he is ready, this knowledge will reach him, this wisdom will reach him. So beautiful. I relate with Ramana's example. So, I find there is no point sitting and arguing on these things. These things are very, very clear. If anybody is serious, and I think I'm going to lock that Jake Light profile only to my friends, so-called friends, and I'm going to just scan through all those friends also and eradicate whoever is not in alignment to that. So I'll do that also. And in case, because I don't know what's the intention of people in the background when they send me a friend request. If you are sending me a friend request coming from any other foundations, cults, or any communities or anything, please kindly excuse me because I don't talk that. I don't talk that language. I don't teach anything from that. So don't expect me to come and speak to you. Don't come with an expectation that you have certain ideology of spirituality and this guy is going to inspire us on that. So my inspiration, level of inspiration or understanding or the way I inspire people is very different than the flattery inspiration where I give you only hopes and I make sure that you are not hurt and I make sure that you are happy with me because I want your votes and followership and because I don't want to expand this kingdom. Very, very clear. So I make it very, very clear. So those who are very serious and aligned and who understand this tattva, what is offering here, then only proceed. Otherwise, it's okay. It's okay. You'll never see this page growing, okay? You'll never see this page growing, followers and friends growing because I don't want to make it grow. Okay? And I'm here with the message to liberate you and not bond you. I will never enslave you to this page in whatever conditions. The only condition here is be in alignment or leave. Because otherwise it's a waste of time. You will distract others, you will distract me. You can't. You will try to, but I might lose time in that. People also lose time in that. So the goal, the sadhya is very clear for me. Your sadhya is somewhere else. It might be the moon and stars and astronauts and cricket matches and this and that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Be blessed with the sadhana that will come to you towards that sadhya, towards that kendra bindu. My Kendra Bindu and the people who are understanding and listening to here, the Kendra Bindu is completely on the self, the Nirguna Nirakara, where all this bullshit is not there. I use this word bullshit because sometimes our so-called sattvic religious and spiritual beliefs will be hurt, like Golimaro. So I am telling again openly to you and who think alike, गोली मारो आपके इस तरह के भक्ति को गोली मारता हूँ. So I don't care about such bhakti because I don't want bhaktas. Bhaktas are blind believers. Be a seeker. Seek. Seeking is opening out, venturing out, adventure out. As you are adventuring outside, adventure into the inner world, which is very deep. And you need a lot of courage and perseverance in that. And do that. So, again, there is nobody who's doing any favor again. Because somebody said, I blah, 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 blah. They'll blast everything. And in the end they will say, but I will still humbly follow your teachings and try to learn. Humble pranam. This humble is hypocrisy. Okay. So, जो करना है कर दो के फिर हाथ धुल के फिर you are saying it's the same Mahishasura, Durga Shapsati we have seen. Suddenly he becomes an evil, then suddenly when he knows he's going to be killed by Durga, he'll become a saint and he'll say, Ma, are you going to kill me now? I have no weapons, I am your bhakta. Are you going to kill this poor being? You have all the weapons, you have all the powers. And few moments back it was the Rakshasa, Asura. So this is the tendency of the ego. If you have not developed enough awareness practices, you cannot see the slip. You cannot see the slip between judgment and discrimination. There's something called discrimination where you have to use your buddhi and vivek to understand what is right and wrong, real and unreal. Okay? There, when you find something unreal, and if I am revealing something that is unreal to you, if that is offensive to the ego, you might call that as judgment. Okay, that's your way of understanding the teachings. For me, it's discernment. So, it's a big difference when you are using this to break the shackles of the conditions of the mind by blasting some and being critical about certain things which otherwise you will not understand. And otherwise, the other way is when you judge somebody to pull that person's down, or judge somebody with some personal motivation, personal intention of jealousy or something. You want to judge and put that person down. You can see that. You can understand. You have to have enough viveka to do that. I don't want to suggest more on that. But again, this work on these tattvas will continue very, very deeply. And I encourage you to get deeper into it if you have the taste for that. And those who are already doing it are having a taste of it. So those who have a taste of it very well know this is not teaching and preaching. This is followed by experience. Because I strongly believe experience only gives you conviction. So whatever I speak here, whatever tattvas we are talking about, Brahmana Tattva, Arunachala Tattva, Devi Kalotra, Nirlamba Yoga, Sarva Gyanotra, Upadesha Saram, we can experience it here. Okay, so I'm not firing bullets in the air and so don't call it a teaching or preaching. If you doubt, sit down, settle and experience it. And then you can. But again, I don't want to convince anybody to do that. I'm not saying come here, there is an invitation, come and check me out, come and take this. No place for all that. Here only people come once they have already checked me out and checked this platform. When they are sure, then they are convinced, then they come and settle here. But otherwise don't come here to experiment. We don't have time and I don't have time to sit proving all these things. Anyways, I was talking about Ganesh Puri thing. If you happen to go there, it's ultimate. It's the Chidakasha Gita. If you know the meditation on Chidakasha and all that, it's absolutely wonderful. We have something coming up in December about Chidakasha Gita retreat in Kanyaland. You can apply for it. Tirunamalai we have in October, but I'm sorry, it's not a public event. There also, I am very, very careful. Only those who are people who have been practicing this tattva, awareness and familiar with, only they are allowed. in those, because we don't want to disrupt the energies. We have all come on a journey where we have understood and settled. So there we go and simply experience the Arunachala Tattva. I don't teach awareness there. You have to know what is awareness. You should know what are the basics of awareness. If not, you can always go to the section of shiftingintoawareness.com/courses and do those courses. Learn basic awareness. And then once you have some stability on that, once your basic queries get cleared out and you settle down without confusion, fears and doubts, then only this further yatra can begin. So this is an invitation to those who can do that. And I don't mind having even 10 people in retreats. It is not again to expand the retreats. That will never happen. I'll make sure that we will not expand it in that way. And you will see it. So again, this is what gives me life to my spirituality. And this is what I have learned from everything. And I've learned from my gurus. I've learned from the paths. Everything I've learned, and what works, what doesn't work, what I can relate to, what I cannot relate to, what people are in confusion, where and how I can relate very clearly. So I try to help people in that. I'm not here to change anybody's path. I don't want you to change your path, leave your path. Whatever you're doing, do it with complete awareness. Whatever you feel you're doing, whatever you feel is right, you do that. But do it in awareness is my only advice. If you want to take that advice, do it in awareness. You can learn simple awareness and do that. You will see good things, and eventually one day you will progress that also. That day will come. You will see that. 100% it will come. And if you are so satisfied in your paths that many people are going around proving their paths. See, if they are proving their path, I don't understand why are they haunting everywhere. I can see them in every ashram. I can see them learning every guru's teachings. I can see them experimenting with these platforms here. So, if you have really got the message, what you say, we are boasting so much about our sadhana, our practices and all that, then what are you hunting outside? What are you searching outside? You shouldn't be even on the social media looking into other places. You should be just in one page or something, seeing that and going and do whatever the communities are there, everything. You should be just doing that. Just that. I would encourage you to do that if you are very faithful and loyal. Otherwise, don't call yourself loyal. If you are scattered everywhere, testing everyone and checking out where you will get what, little here, little there, and then trying to claim your loyalty to that path, is very funny. Very, very funny. So, have awareness. You will see these things. And if you are really getting something, then you should be settled in one place. And I pray that you settle down in one place. You be in one place. We are not here to scatter people. We are not here to call disruptions and havoc among people. No. The havoc is already going on. That havoc is what we are trying to bring clarity to. What you are searching here and there. And uneasiness, that thing is there. Incompleteness is there. So there I am trying to help if you want. If you come here, I will never come and hunt who is incomplete. No. If you come here and if you ask for help, I am confused, I need clarity, I am standing on this part, what do I do? I will never tell you leave that and come here. I will exactly guide you there what you are, if there are any flaws, because you have to go through that journey. You cannot take a shortcut. Okay, I've been through all this, so I'm teaching all these things only. Go in the prescribed manner in what is appealing rightly to you, where your soul is guiding. If you have clarity issues, you take advice, but I promise, I will never tell you leave that and do it. In fact, there are many people I've turned down. Many people who have written to me, many people want to join retreats and all that. When I'll check out if they are doing some practice, I say no, do that. This is not for you. So don't experiment. Don't come here out of curiosity. No, this is not for you. Do that with wholehearted devotion, and you will proceed further in that. So I hope this message is very clear. So I don't want to say it. And don't worry, you cannot disrupt my processes. I might fluctuate, yeah. The rajas is there, the tamas is there, the sattva is there, all that is there, and I fully agree. I'm an incomplete so-called teacher, if you want. I'm an incomplete person. So if you feel you get only incompleteness here, this guy is not perfect, you should go and find somebody who's perfect. And if you find, please send me a message and tell me who he or she is. Much divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.